Hi, this is Sai Sashwati and I'm a legal intern at Lex and Company. Today I'm going to discuss about the defenses that are available for the offense called negligence. What is negligence? What are its characteristics and what are the different forms of negligence and how we can prove offense of negligence in the court of law has been discussed in the previous video. So in this video we will learn about the various defenses that are available for the offense called negligence. In everyday usage, the word negligence denotes mere carelessness. In legal sense, it signifies the failure to exercise the standard of care which the doer as a reasonable man should have done in the circumstance. In general, the legal duty to take care when it is reasonably foreseeable that the failure of such duty will cause an injury. Negligence is a mode in which many kinds of harms may be caused, and that's why this is an offense to impose certain duty of care to the human beings. So we have discussed what are the elements that have to be drawn for an offense called negligence. First one was the duty of care. The duty of care should be by the defendant to the plaintiff, and there should be a breach of this duty, and this breach of duty should always lead to damages that will be incurred to the plaintiff. If this all circumstances are fulfilled, then a negligence offense can be drawn off. Any of the element, like if the plaintiff didn't suffer any damages, though the defendant was negligent, then there will be no case of negligence over here. So there are various defenses that are available to the defendants for proving their case. The first one is contributory negligence. In the common rule, there is a concept that anyone who by his own negligence contributed to the damages that has occurred to him, his complaint is not maintained in the court of law. Because over here, the plaintiff over here will be considered as the author of his own wrong, and contributory negligence will be drawn off. Contributory negligence means that the immediate cause of the damage is the negligence of the plaintiff himself. The plaintiff cannot over here sue the defendant for the damages he has incurred for his own wrong. This is because the plaintiff in such case under the law will be considered as author of his own wrong. It is based on the concept of volunty non fit injuria, which means that if someone is willingly places themselves in a position in which they might result in harming themselves, they are not entitled to claim any damages from the defendant. The plaintiff is not entitled to recover from the defendant if he have proved this following fact. The plaintiff, by the exercise of ordinary care, could have avoided the consequences of the defendant negligence. The second one is that the defendant could not have avoided the consequence of the plaintiff negligence by an exercise of ordinary care. And the third one is that there has been much want of reasonable care on the plaintiff's part as on the defendant's part, and the former cannot sue the latter one. The burden of proving the contributory negligence always rests with the defendant. In the first instance, and the absence of such evidence from the plaintiff side, the plaintiff is not bound to prove its non-existence. The second defense that is available to the defendants is the act of God. This is also known as vis major. An act of God is a direct, violent and sudden act, and this cannot be neglected, or this cannot be stopped by ordinary human being. And even if the act or the circumstances of an act of God is being foreseen, it is not in the hand of any of the person that is surviving in the earth to resist it. Thus, such act which cause basic forces of nature to come under this category will be called as act of God. For example, storms, earthquake, extraordinary high tides or extraordinary rainfall. This all act of nature cannot be avoided. We have to suffer from it, and any damages that will occur due to this will not be considered as negligence. Defense that is available to the defendant is the inevitable accident. An inevitable accident is also called an defense of negligence because here it refers to an accident that has no chance of being prevented even if a due amount or reasonable amount of care has been taken off. Any caution, any care cannot prevent that accident, and that is not physically unavoidable accident. That's why this accident cannot be resisted. Even if there are two accidents, one is of bigger harm and one is of a smaller harm, if the defendant want to choose between these two, then of course he will choose the smaller harm. Over here he cannot be sued for his negligence because he has to choose between the worse and the worse, and subsequently any of this will result to harm to the plaintiff, and this cannot be held to sue the plaintiff. So inevitable accident are the accident which even if due amount of care or caution or skill if been obtained, this will not resist the accident that has to be futurely done. And that's what the three defenses that are available to the defendant under the offense negligence. First one was contributory negligence, second one was act of God, and third one is inevitable accident. If any of the act of the defendant falls within this three category, then he will not be liable for the offense called negligence, or else his punishment will be lowered. Negligence is a civil tort which occurs when a person breaches his duty of care which he owed to another, due to which that person suffers or undergoes some legal injury. In layman's term, negligence can be explained as failure of discharge of omission to do something due to the care